Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, depending on where you're hearing or watching from. How are you guys doing? Welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a long time, I know, yes, but there is need for me to be here today, and that's why we're here. So if you can hear me okay as you come in, like the video for me, and also don't fail to contribute in the comment section because I need to hear your opinion. I need to know what is going on, what you're thinking, because I, for one, am very confused about this whole thing going on. I've been trying to wrap my head around it, but it's not really making any sense to me. And hence why we are here. The reason why I'm here is also to know if you have heard anything different from what is already obvious on the news. Very Dark Man does not need an introduction. If you have been on Nigerian social media platform, you don't need an introduction to know who the Very Dark Man is. He's a social critic, and as well, I would say he's someone who is seeking for justice for a lot of people. So I'm not here to introduce him. Like I said, he needs no introduction. But I have few questions I need to ask, and I want to know if you have heard anything or more information about what is going on. Don't hesitate to let us know in the comment section. I am as curious as everyone out there wanting to know what happened. My number one question will be, what offense did Very Dark Man commit? And you really need to know because a lot of speculations are out there and it's very confusing. And who indeed took him? I wouldn't say that was an arrest. Who indeed took Very Dark Man? If they came on mufti, they were wearing no uniform, nothing to identify them. Who indeed took the Very Dark Man? Most people are saying EFCC, EFCC. Why would EFCC take the Very Dark Man? Nigerians will be here talking. I just pray and hope that this will not be a case of, eventually no enforcement will claim that they were the ones that carried out that operation. That's what I'm praying. I don't want to hear tomorrow. EFCC will say it's not with them. The police will say it's not with them. The army will say DSS. I just don't want to hear that. If anyone has a very vital information that it was EFCC that took him, because Very Dark Man's friend Kopi was saying EFCC, EFCC. I want to believe he has, the right information. Maybe the guy that was with Very Dark Man when he was taken, I wouldn't call that arrest. So if you hear me say taken, you know what I'm making reference to. Because before they arrest you, they will tell you why you're being arrested and things like that. It will be very clear why you're being arrested before they arrest you. The last thing I know the Very Dark Man said was warning the Igbos to be careful of EFCC, especially Obi Kuban and his group of friends. That was the very last video I heard Very Dark Man talking about EFCC. Does that warrant an arrest? No, it doesn't, because he's still under freedom of speech. He hasn't done anything significantly for him to be hooded, and then they move him into a vehicle. It kind of reminds me of people that, committed heinous offenses, those you call criminals. They want to cover their faces and all of that because their sight alone can ignite, serious trouble in the street. So you have to cover them so that people will not know when he's being whisked out into jail or whatever. But what offense did the Very Dark Man commit? If you have any clue, let me know in the comment section, because there is still what they call freedom of speech in Nigeria. And the last video he made does not constitute the way he was taken. He was taken the way they take people, and then they'll be asking for ransom. That's what I saw from that video that was shared by Punch newspaper saying that GTB released a video. That's the way what I saw. The way they would take people and then come and ask the family members or whatever to bring, ransom to release. That's what I saw. So if that's the new method of arrest in Nigeria, someone should let me know, because I am still very confused. I've been trying to talk about this since Friday, trying to go through all the medias to see if I can get anything tangible. And I went on searching the law to know if there is any financial crime that will warrant you to hood somebody before you whisk the person into a vehicle, and also for you guys to come without your uniform in making those kind of arrests. I did not see any on EFCC Act saying, yes, you can hood somebody so that he will not know where he's being taken to. I haven't seen. If you have an idea, let me know in the comment section. Hey, Miriam, how are you doing today? Thank you for joining me. Yes, good to hear my voice. Yes, I've been on sabbatical leave, if I'll put it that way. But this case of Very Dark Man is so troubling that we need to lend our voices so far we have a platform. I've been away for over a month. I haven't been on YouTube, but this is so worrisome. This is so troubling, because you cannot tell me you cannot walk the streets of Nigeria again and unidentified men will come and take you. And then in the process of taking you, they will hood you up so that you don't know where you're going. That does not make any sense to me. The last time I checked, videos of Very Dark Man, I've taken the whole of yesterday to go through his videos, recent videos, to know if there was a place he says something that is so against the law, you understand, for them to treat him the way they treated him. I don't see any. The last video he made calling on EFCC was when he was making reference to the Igbos because of the arrest of E-Money. If you can recall, that was the last video. He said that the Igbos should be very careful, that they are trying to, EFCC are asking questions about all those boys, looking for who Obi Kubana must have credited, so that that was the only caution video recently about EFCC that Very Dark Man did. So what specifically is his offense? Anybody that knows the offense of Very Dark Man, what he committed, why he was whisked out the way they did. The last time I checked, he is in court with one or two people, but the court has not declared him a criminal. Why would he be treated the way he was treated in the first place? Why? And why did they come without their uniform? That is number 2 question. And how did they know he was at the premises at the time he went to the bank? I really need someone to let me know. How did they know that the Very Dark Man was at that bank at that time? How did they know? Where the unknown, when I say unknown, I don't know if I was to call them unknown people or unidentified people or EFCC. Whichever one that suits you, pick a name, because I'm confused on what to address them as. How did they know that the Very Dark Man was at that bank premises at the time? How did they know? Were they signaled? Were they called to come in? How did they know? And if you look at that video, if you have watched that video, the CCTV, you will see that he was already making his way out of the place. There was a vehicle already blocking the entrance of the place. So they were waiting for him. That means somebody must have called them that Very Dark Man is in a premises. He's about leaving, so they camped to get hold of him. So how did that happen? What offense did he? I really want to know the offense he committed for them to come and camp a vehicle. And again, did anybody get the number of that vehicle? Because that's how you start tracing to know who it was registered under, whether it was police, DSS, army, or what have you. Did anybody get hold of that number? Or truly, could this be EFCC that got hold of Very Dark Man? And if it were EFCC that did that, what offense did he commit? I need to hear your response in the comment section. So as you come in, please let me know what you're thinking in the comment section. What offense did he commit? What? It reminded me of when they were trying to, deport some people in America. Some of them were chained, and the news outlets were over the roof, screaming, dehumanization, dehumanization. Some of them were covered. It was still the same thing, dehumanization. This is very dark man. In the only place and country that he calls home, being treated this way. And as of right now, very dark man is no longer just an ordinary Nigerian. He's a Nigerian with a name, not a political name or political godfather. A Nigerian that fought for his name, got his name by himself and himself alone, with a few people like the likes of Tunde Ednot that gave him prominence when he was starting his crusade. So he's not someone you just come and take away like that and expect the citizens to be quiet. I don't know where the government is going. Right now, nobody has issued a statement, not from the police, not from EFCC, not from DSS. Nobody has said anything. And they think that the youths that are seeing all of these injustices happening around are going to keep quiet. I learned they are planning, to protest. Protest is a civil way of demonstrating when you're not in tune with what the government is doing. So if they go tomorrow to do that, nobody should blame them, because they've been asking this question for over 2 days now, since Friday that this happened. They've been asking this question. And from what I know, hi, Janice, thank you for joining. Mel, thank you for being here. From what I know, if any arrest is made on Friday in Nigeria, okay, they're not going to reply you until Monday. That's when you're going to hear anything. I did a live stream here about a Nigerian blogger that was saying a manner of things about Koro Obidi and the family, and she was picked up on a Friday or something like that. So any arrest on Friday, nobody's going to respond to your request until Monday. So we will continue to lend our voices to this, but I'm still asking this question, and I hope anybody can give me an idea. I tried to get something. I read on social media that somebody was saying it was Mercy Chinwo. I say it can't be Mercy Chinwo. The first time I read it, I said, what was Cutie Juice talking about? It can't be Mercy Chinwo, because Mercy Chinwo has no direct financial issues with the very dark man. So it cannot be Mercy Chinwo that the EFCC will be working for. No. Mercy Chinwo will rather be in the legal system, in the courts, going through the court processes. Now, who indeed arrested very dark man? Was it because of what it said that EFCC are asking people questions to know if Obi Kubana is into this or into that, or what exactly did he do? If anybody has an idea, let me know. I don't know per se what exactly he did, what his offense is right now. I'm trying to figure it out, because I've gone through his YouTube channel to see if I can find something that will say, yeah, this was the reason for the offense. That's why EFCC is after him. I haven't seen anything. I haven't. Was it because he was talking about GT Bank? I don't know. Cross is saying you can't say so until they can't say what exactly. Please, can you make your statement clear so that I can respond to that as well? I'm still asking, and the question I'm asking that is so itchy to my mind right now is, what offense did the very dark man commit? What did he do to have warranted the way they treated him? From information making round from Kopi and the rest, he was taken and he was hooded. What crime did he commit to be taken that way? Those are how they handle maybe the D lords, those that peddle on the street, they had D. You understand? You have to hood them so that people will not know they won't know where they're going in the first place, and people will not know who is arresting them. You understand? But that's not the offense, the very dark man. That is not what could warrant that. Okay, he says something. EFCC did not like how he said it. What happened to going to his place and, carry out an arrest? Why come and camp in somebody's business premises to arrest somebody? Was he a flight risk? No. He was not a flight risk. So why are they telling him? That means they've been stalking his phone, knowing where if nobody from GTB Bank called the authorities, that means they've been trailing his phone to know where he was, where he went, where he goes. That could be another thing. Because you can't tell me that everybody that walked into that bank on the day they called police on them. No. That means there was a reason why that happened. And they didn't let him leave that particular premises. They made sure they arrested him in front of that premises. So what is GT saying? They can release the video for what I care. They can release the video showing, yes, they did not, it wasn't inside the bank, but it was still after he was leaving your premises. How did the people that came to take him know he was at that place? How? How did that happen? There's so many ways to look at this, but I'm still going to ask questions. If you're coming in and meeting me for the first time, let me know what you think about my topic and let me know what you think about the thumbnail. Where is the very dark man and why? What is his offense? What? For now, every name mentioned is involved in the very dark man's way, so we can put body to so who put body go collect from Holy Ghost Koboko? You said it's not no, it's not Messi Chinwo. Cross Calvary is not Messi Chinwo. No, there is no amount of thing you can tell me to believe is Messi Chinwo. The reason why I'm saying so, they have no business entanglement together. The EFCC, their obligation has to be Economic Financial Crime Commission. Not when somebody abuses you on the social media, you go EFCC. No, it has to be related with money. And it has to be directly with that person. So that's why I'm kind of erasing Messi out of here. It's until tomorrow, okay? It's by tomorrow that something will happen. We'll know who arrested Very Dark Man, why he was arrested. They did that on Friday to make sure he's being detained. The point is, Very Dark Man is not afraid of the prison. He's been jailed before. He's been in detention before. So that's not the thing. The silence is what is killing his followers. The silence from the law enforcement is what is, killing his followers, making everybody curious, making everybody anxious. But for me, I am particularly curious the way he was taken. What offense did he commit for them to hood him up before they put him in the vehicle? What did he do? Those scenarios occur when you're dealing with a criminal case. For example, D-Lords, I'm going to say the name once and I'm going to be calling it D-Lords. Drug lords, yes, you can hood them when arresting them. So they don't know where they're taken. So they don't signal their people. And those that have committed serious criminal offenses. But what did Very Dark Man do to be taken the way he was taken? I'm still saying that is not an arrest. That is not how arrest is done. He went to a business premises, and then somebody must have called the people waiting for him. We know he banks here. We know he comes here. If he comes, just signal us. We are not going to come into your premises. We are going to do a transaction on a public road so that nobody will say anything. These are possibilities. Because you can't tell me this will be his first time of going into the bank. What offense did he commit? And if those people that took him were not wearing uniform, law enforcement uniform in Nigeria, who took the Very Dark Man? Where is the Very Dark Man? And what offense did he actually get into that will warrant such inhumane situation? What did he do? I've been looking at his phone. I took yesterday to the much I could watch, because you have to watch everything to understand what is going on. If you go by title, you might miss anything. The last that came to my mind was when E-Money was arrested. When Imoni was arrested, he made a video. And his video was addressing the Igbos, telling them this is what is going on, so you know. That does not warrant the way this guy was taken. Or is someone now trying to say that he took his money? Because it must be related, like I said, for EFCC to be the one carrying out things in terms of arrest or abduction or whatever you might call it. It has to be related with money, financial crime. The meaning of EFCC is Economic Financial Crime Commission. So everything they deal with must be related with money or fraud, in terms of money fraud, money laundering. Basically, those are the things they are being given the authority to handle. Money laundering, financial, anything related to it. But not to see a man walking on the street and you just grab the man, hood him up, put him in the vehicle. That is not within their practice. That is what you hear when those people will come. They used to call them unknown G-men. Unknown G-men will come. You don't know them because they are not wearing any recognizable law enforcement outfit. They might even max themselves up and come and take someone. That is exactly what it seems to me. Because if you have no uniform, the person is not at flight risk. Very dark man is not running anywhere. So if they had told him, okay, we are from this place, we are arresting you because you did, there was no need for them to hood him up. I'm talking about this hooding up very seriously because it's not supposed to be for an ordinary citizen minding his business, doing his social critique, trying to advocate for people. No, it's not supposed to be. I gave an example of the scenario that could warrant someone to be taken in that manner. My prayer, people might be saying other things, but my prayer is not when tomorrow comes, being official day of work, then EFCC will say it's not with them. The police will say it's not with them. DSS will say it's not with them. Then the question will now be, who took the very dark man? Where is the very dark man? I don't know why Nigeria has gotten to this extent. Is it that people, they don't have any right to speak anymore? Is it there is nothing like to respect freedom of speech anymore? Is that the issue? Is that why he was being taken? Is that why he was being taken? Because he spoke that the Igbo should watch out, that EFCC is asking boys question, trying to know who Obi Kubana credit is giving money or is not giving money. Is that why the very dark man was taken? If you have any idea why he was taken, let me know in the comment section. And for anybody thinking it was just because he has a case in court with Mercy Chinwo, no. All right. Hi, Joe. I hope you can forgive me, Joe. Welcome to my live stream. Thank you for joining me today. All of you watching from the background, please give this live stream a thumbs up. Like the video for me as you come in. Let me know you're here. Contribute in the comment section. Share your opinion. If you want to say something, let me know so I can drop a comment for you to hop into the comments and contribute in the conversation, okay? If you want to speak, let me know. I will drop the link for you to come in and share your own peace of mind. The case is, okay, that's, you're referring to Mercy Chinwo's case. Any excuse they will present on Monday is to divert the main suspect. We, the Rattle family, already knows who the culprit is. Okay, Cross, if you know who the person, why they arrested him, can you tell us? He said again, if anything happens to VDM, Nigeria is doomed forever and ever, because even you know that the only man ordained to deliver very dark man is not the man ordained to deliver Nigeria. You that is talking is ordained by God to deliver Nigeria. Every Nigerian that has conscience, that want to see a country thrive, is ordained to deliver Nigeria. Nobody can level it on one soul. One person cannot save Nigeria. It takes collective effort of the youth to continue to speak up. Continue to speak. And as you're speaking up, you're doing the right thing. It's not when you're speaking up and you're still not doing the right thing. You can't tell me you're there to do what? To save the country. You have to be seen to be law abiding. You have to be seen to have integrity. You have to be seen to obey the laws of the land. Then when you keep advocating all your voices together in one, then you can be able to make a change. You cannot make a change where you have zero integrity. Very Dark Man has tried to build up his advocacy, tried to build up his crusade, and he's not backing down. If youth can come up in that way, some of them teaming up, picking up one or two things that are wrong in the society and speak up over it, then we collectively, Nigeria will be able to be saved. It's not a one man's responsibility. That's too much of a burden on one person. Joe said, did they even invite him and he didn't come? No. I don't hear that he was invited. I don't hear about that. QTGs is always talking stories that doesn't make sense sometimes these days. I can call him a government blogger because he's always defending the government. So I don't see anything in that nature that they invited him. No. If they invited Very Dark Man, he will make a video that he's going to answer the police or going to answer EFCC. So he's not, he doesn't shy away from those things. And my concern is how he was taken. People don't get the kind of trauma this might, that might get to people that were around when that thing happened. Because an ordinary person walking the streets when that happened, or those coming out of the bank, the first thing that will come to their mind, if they can do this to the Very Dark Man, how about me that has no voice? And it keep, coming to my mind, what offense did he commit to be taken in this manner? Because if you ask me, the way they took him was the way the unknown G-men, unknown G-men, the way they take people in Nigeria. And then they will start asking family to bring ransom. That's what I saw from that GT video. And I'm asking, I keep asking. Let me say, some people were saying in the comment section that because they were taking money from VDM's mother's account, okay, assuming they were taking money from VDM's mother's account, that is something the Very Dark Man will raise a cause, raise question about, and then probably sue the GT bank to the court, and it will go through the police. It's not going to go through the EFCC. I need us to separate these commissions. It's not EFCC, it's the police. People are saying EFCC arrested him, and I'm still asking the question, what is his offense? Some bloggers say the bank was taking money from the mother's account, say that the mother took a loan, and that's why they are debiting her account. It would have been, you file a report, you go to court and sue the bank. But for people coming without uniform, ununiformed men, coming at the point of entry of that bank and making that arrest, how did they know that the Very Dark Man was at that premises? Why didn't they go to his house to knock at the door? How did they know that he was there? Or was it that he was invited, like Joe rightly asked here? He was invited and he did not come. I don't want to believe he was invited that he did not come. He doesn't shy away from making videos about his life situation. If they invite him, he will turn on his camera. Okay, guys, they've invited me. He will say it. So I don't want to believe he was invited and he did not come, because Kitty G's was trying to spin something and I refuse to read because I don't want to be offended, saying that Deji is not advising Very Dark Man rightly and all of that. There are some aspects of what Kitty G said about Deji that I know and I want to believe that is right, because he is definitely using the Very Dark Man to shine. That is the obvious truth. He's used, since he was called to the bar last year, I think it was last year, October, or last year, April, he's been using the Very Dark Man, to get the public, to advance that law career. He's still a baby tooth in legal profession. He's a baby. So most of those cases that Very Dark Man are getting into are being handled by the real seasoned lawyers in that chambers. But he lies the camera, Deji lies the camera, and all of that. So he'll be the one because he already had voice from his human rights advocacy in the past. Kum, becoming a lawyer, Piam, very dark man being available, and all of that. However, I need to know, can someone tell me if you have an idea the offense of very dark man? I want to know because of the way he was taken. That's why I'm so particular. Why was he taken in the manner they took him? What did he do? He's still in Nigeria, and you cannot come to your country and be humiliated in that manner. And then those that duped their governors, the governors that took 1.4 billion, 180 billion, are working with sirens, police escorts in Nigeria. And then very dark man, what did he do? Somebody should tell me. When former governor of Delta State and the former deputy vice president candidate in the last election, when he decamped to APC, people went and brought his file because EFCC was chasing him for 1.4 billion. I think it's naira, not dollar. I'm not sure the currency, but I know it was 1.4. They brought out that story again. So does that mean that all his sins are forgiven, according to Ashimole that said once you come to APC, all your sins are forgiven? Is becoming new. That man right now, that former governor, if you see him, he has police escort from one point to the other. So tell me why they should whisk out very dark man at the way and manner at which they did. Anybody should please help me because I've been quiet. I didn't want to, I was like, okay, let me get more information before I come out. No information because they did it rightly to stir up the youth. And let us not forget something. This government is strategic. When they want to do something or maybe do something serious that they don't want the youth to come and say, hey, this is what is happening, they might be able to bring up something that will occupy the mind of the youth so that the youth will be focusing on this and why other things are going on in the government, platforms. So let us also be thinking, what is going on? What is engineering all of this? What is bringing all of this up? What is prompting what is going on? I want to know. If you have an idea, let me know in the comment section. If not for very dark man, who dares to speak against Nigerian corruption, against corruption in Nigeria? See, Cross. It's very unfortunate that's what Nigeria has gotten into. But unfortunately, I would say it's very, very unfortunate that people are not speaking up. If you want to speak up, they will give you a position or give you a post, and then you become one of them, and that is it. That is it. Joe said, that's even my concern. Like, if such thing can happen to very dark man in the presence of, I'm not even remembering his mother's own, in the presence of his mother. I don't understand why EFCC. I'm still saying that I cannot. Some part of me is saying no, trying to give EFCC some credibility, saying no, I don't want to believe it's EFCC. But Nigeria right now, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Okay. Joe said, "Mommy, no be AI of them with brain has sense now. Most of them are government underdogs." Yeah. They have been planning to get VDM for a long time. That's why they started deducting his mom's money as a trap. A call was placed from GT Bank to EFCC. Some bloody tasty demons have paid GT Bank. See, across sincerely speaking, if this is true that thing is coming from GT, the kind of reputation they are going to have, the kind of customers they are going to lose, they might be saying, yes, the small money, the small savings account, they can take their money and go, whatever. But the thing is that it's not about taking the money and closing the account like most of them are threatening. You understand? It's the reputation that counts in the long run. Because people will say, no, I won't bank with GT again. Maybe if I have any problem with authority, they are going to place a call and they will come in right in the front of their bank to come and arrest me. The reputation. It's unfortunate, I will really say. If that happened, the kind of way their reputation will go down. You know, when you have something from scale of 1 to 10, GP will not even fall to number 1. It will fall all the way from number 10 to down 0. If there is anything minus 000 in terms of how customer rating is done, that's what they will be getting. It's very, very sad that someone cannot go do transaction in the bank and walk out free and go back to his home. Then people will come. And when they brought out their video, I was very curious to know what really happened, because I used to be a banker in Nigeria. So when they were saying they were beating him inside the bank, I refused to believe that, because the people you have in the bank as security officers are just men that were trained to stand in the bank. Okay. And then if they have the billion van available, they have those few police people that will come take the money out of the bank and they go. They don't usually have the police, you know what I'm saying, stationed at the banks. You get it? So when they said, I was trying to doubt it. But when they now release the CCTV trying to defend themselves, that when I said to myself, there is something fishy about this. Now, why do I say that? I'm a lawyer, by the way. So before I say something, I must have scrutinized it back, front, right, left, up, down, to make sure I have a sound judgment before I speak. I said, okay, fine. Thank God I saw VDM walking out of the bank. Okay. But the point they forgot very quickly was that their vehicle were actually stationed right in front of their entrance, the bank entrance. So what would they say about that? If they were being smart, I mean, in GT right now, if they were being smart, what they would have asked those people, please make sure your vehicle is far off from our office, so that it will not look like we asked you people to come. But the vehicle were right in front of their premises. If there is one thing that any bank in Nigeria knows, and any banker in Nigeria knows, is not to block the entrance of a banking premises. Is against the rule. And there are reasons why. If they need to chase the Obakpo people, you know, the people that will come and take from people, they must have access to the road. When I mean access, like hit, go. The bank premises must never be blocked. Even the GT, they know that very well. You cannot park your vehicle in front of the bank premises. It's never allowed. So how come they allowed a vehicle to park in front of their entrance? Even when you come with your siren car as somebody that has an entourage, you are not allowed to block the bank premises. They know that. So that part, they forgot that part, because that was right in front of the bank. So how can they say that thing wasn't? If Cross said a call was placed, when you look at it critically, knowing the banking rules, that you can never block the entrance of the bank, knowing that there is no way somebody will know you're in the bank, unless if you call the person, I'm going into the bank, unless if somebody places a call like Cross is saying. So they are not out of it. I mean, GT, they are not out of it. It's going to impact on their reputation. They're going to lose a lot of customers. And at the end of the day, they will look for young contract staff to go and start pursuing these people back to come back to bank with them. So they should have thought very deeply. All right. Joe said, drop the link. Okay, Joe, let me look for my link. You know, it's been a while. Let me catch up as well with the comments. The link is down. Cross said, EFCC and GT has been paid to. Cross, now you're talking. But am I sure it's EFCC? I don't want to say that a word you said because of YouTube, but that's how that thing appears to me. Whenever I think about that video I saw, the CCTV video I saw, that's what comes to my mind. Did they just came and very dark man? Did they just come and, I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say that word. That's what comes to my mind each time I think about that video. You know, the way you watch something, it settles in your memory. You keep flashing. That's why I'm asking this question. What offense did he commit? What did he do to warrant the way they took him? They took him the way those people, the unknown G-men, will come and take people and be asking for ransom. That's how they took him. And that does not look like EFCC way of arrest, police way of arrest, DSS, unless if that person had committed treasonable offense against the country. That's when you start holding them. Unless if they are the D keepings, they had D keepings, that's how they arrest them. Let us start differentiating this so that we can make a lot of sense out of it. And to be honest with you, if VDM comes out of it, he must sue them for this kind of dehumanization they did, because that is not in line with whatever charges they will say that VDM committed. The way they took him is not in line with whatever charges they will place on him. All right, let's continue. Let me see if I'll catch up with this comment real quick. Cross said, send me your Instagram name. I want to follow you so that when VDM is back, I will remind you of what I said here. I promise you won't, I won't disturb you. Just want to be a fan. Okay, Cross, you can check me out with Oyoyo Sword on Instagram. Oyoyo Sword. Cross also said, okay, can I ask you a question? Do you know that the full video is not complete? While is GT hiding the full clip? Don't worry. We'll get to that GT thing. We'll get to it. If not for eyewitnesses and VDM's friend, they would have taken him to a unknown destination. CM, the way that guy was taken, that was what came to my mind. I saw those people, they were not wearing any uniform. And I started asking myself, Very Dark Man has been in Nigeria now. He went to China. Has he started doing business, helping people import goods from China? Because he talked about it when he was in China. Even if he was going to help people, I know Very Dark Man will not put himself into trouble, knowing fully well that they are after him. You understand? I've asked myself several questions. Was it that he was trying to help somebody to buy things from China, that EFCC, maybe the transfer or the transaction wasn't going well? There is nothing I haven't thought about. There is nothing I haven't processed. Then again, I said to myself, even if that was the case, he was trying to help somebody, buy things from China, from his contact in China. That does not mean they're going to do what they did by following him all the way to the bank and then they're blocking the bank premises, taking him and holding him. It's still without their due process. The due process, you have to go conduct an arrest. You have to get warrant of arrest and go and arrest somebody. You don't have to go and ambush somebody somewhere. It's like you going to eat a very pot of soup, in one hot afternoon after enjoying yourself, not knowing that somebody was waiting for you to capture you there. Because that's what they did. That's what they did. So they went and staged there to ambush him, to take him. For doing what, Biko? If anybody knows, let me know in the comment section, because it's not making sense. Joe, I'm going to bring you to the stage, and I hope this will not mess me up. So welcome, Joe. Let me hear what you have to say, and thank you for joining. And to those watching us, do us a favor by liking the video, okay? Like the video. If you want to join, the link is on the chat. You can hop in. I want to hear your opinion, because right now, I'm still asking the very question, what is his offense? If anybody should tell me the offense, I will tell you whether what they did is wrong or right. So right now, I don't see anything that warranted what they did to the Very Dark Man. So Joe, the floor is yours. Welcome. Joe, are you here? Joe, I can't hear you. I don't know if you're having... Can you say hello, Joe? Let me know if you're audible.
Can you hear me, Mommy?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, all right. Good evening, Mommy. How you doing, ma?
I'm doing well. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, you're welcome, Mommy. All right. So, first and foremost, Good evening to everybody in the comment section and our viewers and our lovers as well too. And this situation, like I'm pissed off. Honestly, I'm pissed off. I don't know which other English I want to use again to describe, like because I'm asking myself a lot of questions. Now, unlike EFCC that we know that whenever they go into operations like this, if you go to their websites or their pages, you see them make posts about all these things, whatever or whatever activities that they do. But unlike them, even up to now, we've not seen a single tweet or a post that states that, oh, they arrested VDM.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike them, unlike them. And now, this thing, why I'm upset again, because I was victim of this situation one certain time in this place of work that I'm working here, and I believe the way Nigeria is going, if we leave this thing for very dark man alone, it will not work,
Yeah.
honestly. Because if even hundreds of people cannot still solve it, so how much more are we leaving a country, a whole nation, a country as Nigeria, even a state alone, VDM can change a state. Even a street, well, maybe he can try,
Exactly.
if he can change the street. But even a state alone is not enough for one person to change. Talk more of a whole 36 states altogether. But despite that, this guy is still putting in his best. Now, when I said I felt a victim, there was a situation that happened in my place of work. Okay. Now, some people, tax came in and they said that the company is owing them money, that the company is
Mm-hmm.
not paying tax. So now they were not talking with the ED of the company, they were discussing. So the ED did not allow them come inside because they were saying they wanted to come inside. So the ED is
Mm-hmm.
saying, no, you people cannot come inside. So while they were discussing and everything, before you know, forcefully they barged into the company. So when they barged in, they now took one of my colleague, who is a security personnel. They dragged
Mm-hmm.
him, they wanted to take him along with him and take him away. So I now intervened. Now, at the process of me intervening, I took the guy away from the policeman because they brought in
Mm-hmm.
police as well so that you can know that these people were prepared, like they were ready for whatever that was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Although I didn't even intervene in whatever discussion they were having, it's none of my business. The company is removing taxes from my salary. So if the company is owing them tax, it's none of my business. I don't know anything about that. My own is I come and work and I get out. But where
Mm-hmm.
I intervened was, why are you taking an innocent person? You see the ED there. You didn't tell the ED, oh yeah, Oga, follow us, enter into our van, let us take you to our office and explain further. You are not taking an innocent security personnel that knows nothing. That even he
Imagine.
himself, they deduct the same tax that you people say the company is owing. They deduct it from his own salary too every month. So now you're not taking an innocent person, which I now took the guy away from the police. You know what they
Mm-hmm.
did? They now left every other person. They now focused on me. They said, no, now me, they're going to take this scapegoat.
You
And you see what
see?
happened? Nobody, nobody in the company itself could even come to my head and said, no, you are not taking this guy. Because I believe what those people did there for BDM, and this is a bank, and I know that people will be there. If people have stepped in, but just that, it's going to take a lot of courage because everybody is scared. When you see you won't come say you want put body. Even though you want put body self, now your parents, even your village people say will be dialing your number, will tell you, don't go apply yourself. So I understand that fact, but because the way this thing is driving to now, it will get to a point, and even that we will not be scared of it anymore. We will not be scared of it anymore.
Yeah,
Now,
if this is coming as an act of intimidation so that nobody will talk, those because VDM has given some people the will I say the courage to speak the truth, to advocate. There's this guy that is talking about real estate people. There is another person that is coming up. So some people are coming up. Are they doing this, especially on a Friday, taking him on a Friday so that the other people looking up to him to advocate for a better Nigeria will shut up? Is that what they are trying to? Because to me, I will call it intimidation. And at the same time, it's harassment. What they did to this guy, to be honest with you, if Nigeria were to be a country that has some level of maybe 1% law and justice, because right now the country has none. The House of Assembly is not doing anything. The Senate are not speaking up for the people. The executive, not. So judiciary, none. For three arms of government, none is speaking up for the people. So the only people speaking up are individuals that are courageous, like the very dark man coming to speak. There was even a time I was very angry. I say, very dark man, no, 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 no. You started with the consumer, consumer protection, trying to protect consumer. You went into, okay, everything you see that is bad, you start doing. I say, very dark man, you're not giving this government the enough heat they should get, So he's not even, coming out saying, there was a time he came out of for Nwike, back. Suddenly we stop hearing anything about Nwike. It has to be heard some, because these people are not thinking about the citizens. If the three arms of government are not working for the citizens, for the common people, that means a country is gone. So what they did to Very Dark Man was to take him on a Friday and to keep quiet till now that we are speaking. By Monday, and I want to believe that some kind of statement will come up, because the lawyers will be able to go to DG's office to ask questions, to know what is happening, go to EFCC, go to wherever they are. And Very Dark Man on his own, I want to believe he's also pulling out, trying to make some contact wherever they kept him. I just want to believe that he's still within the hands of the law enforcement in Nigeria. I want to hope and believe that it wasn't the wrong people that took him, because the
But
way he
mommy,
was
according to even what I'm hearing, self, I'm hearing that his phones, like immediately the situation happened, because there were two that they actually whisked away. Him and the other guy, his name is CPAC. So on the midnight of Saturday, they released CPAC. Okay, and CPAC
imagine.
said, according to him, he said, in fact, the guy was not even walking well. His leg was unbalanced when the guy was even when Kokopi went to pick the guy. So you could understand how they treated these people. Now he said, he said they were even forcing them to give out their password of
Huh?
their phone number of their phones.
Wow.
I'm telling you, they were forcing them to give out their passwords. And now, even just some hours ago, I saw Kokopi making a video to us to saying that according to the news he's hearing from EFCC, that some of all these big, well-known people now, they are now calling EFCC and telling them, I beg, let me check that guy's phone. If there's any evidence against me that he has in the phone here.
Wow.
So this thing, this thing is very clear. They just want him to, they want to use him as a scapegoat, and so that he can strike fear into every other persons who are trying to emulate him, to be like him. I
So
just pray to God. I pray to God
they are
that
trying to
happens.
intimidate him. But why didn't they come with their
Exactly.
uniform? Why didn't they come with their uniform? Why did they come undressed without official uniform? Why are they looking like unknown G-men?
And
Why?
that is where my concern is, Mama. That is where my concern is. Like, imagine the mother is standing right there, and you whisked him away like as if he's a criminal, like as if he has. Even the so-called criminals that we have, that I even seen themselves. You people don't treat them the way you treated this guy, because I
Exactly.
don't even know his offense. I don't even know what he did that made you guys bundle him like that, even masked him and took
Yeah,
him away. Like, I can't even understand what kind of offense. In fact, I'm trying to imagine the kind of offense that somebody will cause that will warrant such treatment. I'm trying to imagine that kind of offense that will warrant
exactly.
such treatment in the presence of his mom. What kind of situation do you think the mother would be right now?
The point
And
is this now.
just like my story I was telling before, like I got to the mama. Do you know that even when I got to this tax people office, because I'm just looking at the scenario and I'm saying, like, this is almost like what happened to me. Sure, you get, mama. I got to the
Mm,
office, and when we got there, mama, they dragged me on the floor after they captured me. They dragged me on the floor. I have the video. I will send it to you on your WhatsApp. I still have the video on my phone. They dragged me on the floor. till I got to where they parked their van and they bundled me inside the car. They took me to their
Imagine.
office. On getting to their office, they started saying, the policeman that took me there, he first beat me, like he was targeting my face, beating me all over. I made sure I was blocking my face so that, I don't want the punch to touch my face so that my face would start getting swelling up or all those things. So immediately they now told him that, Oga is coming. He left me alone immediately and he went his way. Then when the oga came back, the oga was looking at me. Then the oga asked them, he said, what happened? They said, this is the guy that was beating police. So as slim as I am, the man was looking at me, was looking at the police. I was like, are you sure it's this guy that is beating you people? They said he is the one. That was the one that started the fight. In fact, he was even telling the man that there's one bracelet that they bought for them in Abuja that I was the one that cut it. In fact, that they
Imagine.
had a video. Now, when they now went to play the video to the man, unfortunately, when the man saw the video, the man saw that I didn't started any fight. But what they were saying is that I was the one that started the fight. I was the one that was beating the policeman.
Exactly.
And the man was,
Look at what
you could
entertainment said. Entertainment said that was how they took Duro Fatimi. You
exactly.
know, that's how they took the guy. And we're talking about VDM, VDM,
Eh,
VDM, VDM. Imagine Duro Faratimi. That guy has practiced law for, I can't remember how many years he's been at the bench practicing. I can't remember how many years. And they treated him, whisked him from Lagos to what? Is it Ekiti State or Ado Ekiti or whatever? That was what they did to me. And it's a similar thing that happened to VDM. And that's where the people should start talking. But unfortunately, people are not interested in actually giving some push on how to rescue the soul of Nigeria.
Mama, I said this thing to somebody in one WhatsApp group, because when the person was shouting, he said, what can we do to this thing that is going on? And I asked the person the question. I said, Madam, as you are now, if your child now wakes up and tell you, Mommy, I'm walking to Aso Rock, I want to go and protest. I said, what will you do to the boy? He said, He said, he will use slap and decorate his face. I said, that is it. I
Exactly.
said, I said, I'm not judging you. I said, even I myself. But it's just that, mommy, there's a way that the way this situation is going, mommy. Honestly, maybe that thing that it will get to a point. You see that thing that we are even scared of, we'll not be scared of it anymore. And maybe it's this situation that is on ground now. And you said something about whenever governments, because I've been looking at their patterns. Whenever they want to
Mhm.
make any moves or anything is going on, they like to bring up a story that will divert people's attention. You remember there was a time when VDM, there was this story about this Nance president that was also kidnapped too and was beaten nakedly and those things. So now
Mhm.
that story was coming up, and now this VDM issue now is coming up now. Sure you get. So
You see?
they always look for agendas to distract us, but like I said, there's a stage to get to. That thing that we are even scared of, we'll not be scared of it anymore. Honestly, we won't be
Hmm.
scared of it because I don't understand. As in, mommy, you need to come and see the like since on Saturday I've not been myself because I was just thinking over and over. First, I was asking myself, how is this mother feeling right now? How is this
See,
mom feeling
Joy,
right now?
see, when it comes to the mother and all of that, we understand. I can understand the sentiment that comes. I'm a woman, I have children, so I can understand. If I had done something and they would do that in front of me. But the question I'm asking, what exactly was his offense? Because let's assume, I remember during the time they were doing a fire, if they convinced you of stealing in Nigeria in those days, is a firing squad that they will give the person. Some of those boys that were fired at the time, they will call the family members to have the last words before their children are being, um, wished the other way. Some of them will say, Mommy, I'm sorry. If I had listened to you, I would have, you understand, I wouldn't have been where I am. One of the boys from the stories I had, this happened many years ago when I was in primary school. The boy called the father, say, Priest, I want to speak with my mother. They brought the mother. The mother came up to where he was. He beat the woman on the ear, beat off the woman's ear. And what he said, that the mother was the one that put him in that situation. That if the mother had asked him when he was bringing things home where you brought it from, he wouldn't be here. So the essence of me giving this a little explanation is this: I can understand how traumatic it is for VDM's mom, but at the same time, that woman is built tough, because VDM must have sat the mother down. See, I'm going against anything wrong in Nigeria, Mama. So you have to figure out how to be strong, because this will come out for me. They've sent him to
Exactly.
jail before. They've done so many things. So by now, the woman will know. Now, God, I leave this speaking for. Make God just the guide them. But the thing is, assuming VDM was told his offense there, that this is why we are doing what we are doing, and this is who we are, it would have been understandable. And the question is, what is that offense? Because if anybody can tell me this is the offense he committed, I'm a lawyer. I will tell you, okay, this is how they should have proceeded. But you did not arrest him, that you have a arresting warrant to arrest him at his home. You know his place. He's not hiding where he lives. They know where to get him because he's been in the police. His information is there. They know how to reach him. They can invite him to come. They can go to his house and arrest him. But no, something happened in that bank. Some people made a good call, or rather a bad call, that this is where he is right now. You can come right now. We are going to slow the movement so that by the time you drive and get there, he will still be here. Those are the things. Why? Where exactly is this person? It was on a Friday, it wasn't on a Saturday. So the likes of EFCC, the police, the DS, they are still officially on their work duties within the time that thing happened. Why are those men not on uniform? Why were they not on uniform? At least you know they are carrying out whatever is perceived to be what law enforcement exercise. Even American FBI, they don't wear uniform to say we FBI, but they will give you their badge. They will show you their badge. They are from FBI. And their memo of operandus is entirely different. When FBI come to your place, you know it's FBI. When police come, you know it's police. They come differently. They don't just come and whisk somebody. We shoot the person so that you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you're taking. And those on the street, they wouldn't be able to recognize what is happening. I'm still asking this question. What offense did he commit? What is the
Although actually, according to Sheon Kuti's live stream, I think it was yesterday, or yeah, it was yesterday. So according to him, he said that he spoke because him and VDM they share the same lawyer, which is Deji Adeyanju.
mm,
So he said he spoke to Deji, and Deji told him that he actually made calls and that they said that the whisking away is actually regarding a situation or a case he has with a gospel singer, and of which we all know, or unless maybe they are just trying to use that to make a case, because even though he has a case with a gospel singer, I mean, have you invited him that he didn't come? So why would you just come and carry him away like that? So I still don't, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. Like maybe they have a reason, but at the same time, that reason is not substantial enough. If you just come and tell him, oh yeah, Oga, follow us to the motor, or you invite, in fact, before you can even come and arrest him, you should have invited him first. Because this is a court matter. Okay, court will invite you. When they invite you, and then if you refuse to come, then they can ask you, yeah, even if they are coming to arrest, they will arrest you in a proper way, not the way you did to him. So I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. It's because of a case with a gospel singer. I'm still not believing that case. And concerning GT Bank, honestly, they actually got on the wrong foot because although what there's something that I was looking at this case again because it was saying that GTB is not the only ones that is doing all this trash. Okay, there are other banks too that will just deduct people money for any reasons. That's number one. And number two, again, if you are saying ending GT Bank, we have a lot of people, relatives, friends that are working in this all these banks. companies. So if you are handling GT Bank, and we know the situation of Nigeria like this, though I am not saying that what GT Bank did is right. I'm not saying, okay, if there is a way we want to go about, trying to make them pay for what they did is wrong. But at the same time, let's try to consider things. Because we have a lot of friends or relatives who are working in these places. So now if you are
Joe,
handling
Joe,
GTB, that
Joe,
means
Joe let me interrupt you here. CM,
okay.
the issue of GT Bank, huh? And what
Yeah.
happened to Very Dark Man. It makes transaction extremely difficult for customers to walk into that bank or any of their branches with that kind of confidence that they're not going to call somebody to come and take you. That is a wrong move. When I mean a wrong move. And when I don't know the extent of transaction between them and Very Dark Man to have warranted that. I don't know. Or maybe another customer that is from EFCC or from the government was in the bank at the time and saw this guy and know they've been trying to get him and made the call. There are so many ways to look at it. But to be honest with you, if customers are angry and saying NGT Bank, they have a reason. And why am I saying is it's going to hit them very badly in terms of their reputation? See, a lot of people, will I say business people, they have problems here and there. You might supply something, it did not get on time, you haven't made your sales, and the person that supplies is asking for money. You're trying to delay to see if you can sell and make money. Those people will not be able to walk into GT Bank tomorrow. No, hey, that person that I'm still owing, they will call police on me. He will come and meet me here. He will come and arrest me. Or is it people owing bank? There is so many ways you look at it. It's a bad rep for GT. Bad, bad, bad in anything you can think about. People say NGT, they are talking out of what? Frustration. And they're entitled to that frustration. They're entitled to express how they feel. I will not be comfortable that my brother, my sister, my friend, even me myself, that I went to the bank, and that was how I ended up sleeping 3 days in the jail. For what? Why didn't they come to the house to arrest me? So it's a bad publicity for them. And I have no sympathy whatsoever about GT. I have no sympathy whatsoever. It's a very bad, bad, bad publicity. And to be honest with you, those venting, they have the right to vent. Okay? You can't beat a child and tell the child not to cry. You understand? Most people in Nigeria are seeing Very Dark Man as their savior. It's very unfortunate that's the kind of responsibility they are heaping on one person. A school was cut off due to rain in Lagos. They were calling Very Dark Man that lives in Abuja to come and fix it. They were even hoping and relying on Very Dark Man more than the state government of a country, the state governor. So you can see how they have made this thing Very Dark Man is doing very, very huge. It's such a big responsibility that he can't even be able to handle. But they are just expressing their frustration and anger. And to be honest with you, is not a good publicity for GT. Somebody can come and tell me, is either I'm looking at these things in many ways. Is it that there was a person in the bank at the time, maybe an officer that has an understanding that they want to get Very Dark Man and help them to get him? Or it could be that somebody from that bank made a call. They now laid ambush for him at their entrance. Everything should be scrutinized. And eventually, we might not be able to get to the bottom line of who or how that happened. But however, when Very Dark Man comes out, he'll be able to say what exactly transpired. So, Joe, if you're still here,
Exactly.
continue. I'm
Although
going to mute myself.
I even had they even locked him in the security door for like over 5 minutes. That he was locked up there. And which that is a deliberate act. Because if you can't tell me that the door was faulty or is malfunctioning. If the door is malfunctioning, definitely the other side is supposed to be open. So why is it malfunctioning that he has to be locked up inside, like the both doors were locked, so that they were able
Wait,
to delay, so that they can.
okay, you mean their
You say something,
entrance?
Mommy?
You say they locked him in the
Yeah,
bank?
yeah, Yeah, inside, like before those people came now, like it was locked, the door, it was locked inside that security exit for like over 5 minutes. It was there for over 5 minutes. So it was a deliberate act. It's very obvious that it's a deliberate act from them because they did it because of those people that they alerted them that yes, this guy is already, at our branch. So they did
Over
that to
five
deliberately delay
minutes.
him so that they can be able to catch up with him.
Over
It's
five
very
minutes. You,
obvious.
you mean inside that rotating door that you have to pass through? He was there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, inside that rotative door, that door that usually, one side will close, the other side will open. Inside that rotative door.
Hey. Anyway, they will get away with it. No be Niger. If to say now I oversee that thing happen, the kind of liability you go pay, just for putting that person in that length of time, the kind of
Okay,
medical
mom,
attention.
see this Okoya son that sprayed money the other time. Was it not the police that was there with them that they dealt with? Till today now, we've not heard anything about Okoya son. But recently now, they went to arrest him money. They said because now it's not that he was even mutilating Naira. They said when he was spraying, according to what video said, he said the news he got was that why they arrested him was because when he was spraying flavor Nabania pounds, that probably
Hmm.
maybe might be stepping on Naira. And that is the reason why they arrested him. You could imagine. But Okoya's son is still there now. They've not said anything about him. They've not mentioned a single thing about him. That is the country that we live in.
It's very unfortunate. It's really very, very unfortunate. Nigeria is beginning to sound like a broken record in a country where, citizens cannot freely walk the streets or do their business transaction without being, scared or afraid of what will happen to them. People don't know if I get into this banking premises, if I'm going to come back or get home to my children and family. It's very unfortunate. And it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. They should be able to say categorically what happened to to VDM, how he was taken, why he was taken. I still want to know why he was taken, because the way they took him was that of a criminal, and that's not what Very Dark Man is. He's not. Very Dark Man, I've not heard or seen him go destroy somebody's business or get away with people's items. I've not seen him go steal somebody's money or take people's property or things like that. So why was he treated in this inhumane way? I don't know the reason why. And it's not something you wish for somebody else. But the resemblance to this story is what happened to the barrister Dele Efara to me. That is the resemblance. They took him all the way from Lagos. They took him to Ekiti State, and then it was police that did that to him. Then you start asking yourself, all these law enforcement arms of the government, are they really there for the people or they are working for the government? Can they still say categorically Nigeria practice three system government in terms of the judiciary, legislative, and the executive? Or are they under one pocket? What is happening in Nigeria? What is going on? What is going on? I've gone through since
Mommy, you
yesterday,
see
I
that
took my time checking
one?
VDM
Sorry for
video.
cutting you short, mommy.
Yeah.
Sorry for cutting you short in that aspect. I've said this thing several times and I'll still keep saying it. Like, we don't really mean anything to them, honestly.
Ah,
We don't mean anything to them because if you really mean something to them, okay. Now imagine there was one news that passed on one time when this herdsman, drove his cows into a farmer land, and the farmer
uh-huh.
went to meet the herdsman that kindly move your cows away from the farmland, okay. And now the herdsman was trying to attack the farmer, and out of defense of the farmer, then he struck the herdsman and the herdsman died. Even when eyewitnesses were there, telling the police that came to arrest this man that it was actually out of defense. It was the herdsman that struck first. But no, they still sentenced this man to death. So now you could imagine that kind of injustice. So
And
that
that was
means
the one that
now,
happened at Benue State, right?
yes, exactly. That was what happened in Benue State. Now
Ha!
look at what VDM was actually talking about our abducted people that were outside the country. He was personally facilitating how he could move these people to Nigeria. But instead, our president was in France a week or so. Then they said the head of senator should go to Pope's burial in France when we have our own citizens, our own so-called people, they are in another land now being held captive. But they don't care about that. But they had the funds to send the head of a senator to go to Pope's burial. So you're telling me that that Pope's burial is
Joe, if you really
outside
ask
the
me,
country.
if you ask me, Joe, I will tell you that Nigerians deserve what they got in this government. That's what I will say. They deserve what they got. Unfortunately, the few people that saw what was going to happen and then tried to stop it and they never succeeded, those are the people I pity. But the rest of the Sanko that say, yeah, it's going to work and all of them, everything about them is all lies and propagandas. They deserve what they got. The only thing that I'm really so worried about is the common man. I'm so worried about them that look at what you just explained that happened to that farmer in Benue State. And look at the kind of judiciary that gave justice and what was handed down to this man. I saw a video of a cow in Plateau State, I think about 18 cows or whatever. They went into a farm that was fumigated against insects and ate their crop, and those cows died. And somebody came to tweet that they should watch out for what? After attack of what they did to their cows. So the thing is, it's very unfortunate that the government is not lending their voices to the right channels. It's very unfortunate that nobody is speaking for the poor, neither the House of Assembly, neither the senators, neither the executive. The worst is the judiciary. The last hope for a common man is gone. Is gone. Look at how they did the election tribunal. The last hope for the common man is completely gone. I don't know what is left. And now VDM is one of those people that, advocating for the common man in Nigeria. They want to silence his voice. They want to intimidate him so that those that are coming up after him will not have voices. It's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. I just wish, and I'm still hoping that by tomorrow, at least one arm of the law enforcement agencies will say, yes, we have him in our custody. If it's EFCC, they should not come out and tell us what financial crime he committed to have gotten this. Because I don't see that. Though I don't live with him to know his personal affairs and all of that, but somebody would have called him out if he did something to them in this now and age of social media that Nigerians get justice from social media. Somebody would have said something. So if up till now nobody has said yes, it's because he took my 1.5 or 2 point something, then I can't still understand the reason why they arrested him the way they did. It's very unfortunate. It shouldn't happen to anybody. People should have the right to know what they are being taken for. People should have the right to also express freedom of speech. If you see something going wrong, speak up. Not this one that Ashimolu said, that once you join APC, all sins are forgiven. Look at the governor, Yaya Bello. Remember how many times EFCC tried to, they could not arrest that man. See, they say EFCC said Okowa, former governor of Delta State, was being alleged for 1 point something 4 billion. They are walking the streets freely, even with Nigerian police escort men. These people I mentioned are walking freely. Then it's very dark man that they want to come and whisk out the way they whisk him out. It's very unfortunate. It should not happen to anybody.
Mommy,
Yeah, go ahead.
even this freedom of speech that we're even talking about, sometimes even we ourselves, we are even the ones that is making this government even look like as if they are something. Now, my example is, remember that copper lady that came out to talk about the way things were expensive and all those things. Even
Mm-hmm.
before the government even came to even say anything, it was even our own fellow Nigerians that were bashing on this lady. Our own very self. Now, this lady she's not just speaking just because of her own selfish interest alone. She's also speaking on behalf of the interest of every other citizens who are also in her shoes. But guess what? It
Exactly.
was the same set of citizens that were also going to her inbox, bashing on her and telling her why would she say such a thing. So sometimes, when we look at all these dramas of the things, this right, because for me, I would say it. The only people who has rights in this country are once you have your money, you have your connections, and you can do and undo and do. But if you are a common person, the only thing I would just advise you is just try, stay. Even if you see trouble coming, run. You are not
Oh,
running just because you are not running because maybe you're a coward. No, but because you're running because of your life and what it will get you into. Because if you think that justice system or anything is working in this country, I'm sorry, it's a big lie. So if you know you don't have money, you don't have connection, please try everything possible to stay out of trouble. Don't say it's my right. Don't say, please. That's just my only
oh,
advice. That's my only advice because
wow.
that right has been taken away from us very long time. It has
Hmm.
been taken away from us.
Hmm.
You cannot talk, you cannot react, even though you are still talking. Somebody was saying something. He said, if you want to fight for the people, be also prepared to fight against those same people that you are fighting for.
Oh.
Because now, even despite all those things, all these things that we are mentioning about very dark man now, we still see some set of people who are still coming saying this guy is a bad. Fine, we know that you can't love everybody cannot love you, okay?
Yeah.
But not that when you see some certain things, this man is not perfect. There was a WhatsApp group that we were discussing this thing, and this guy, the guy was saying, he talks too much. I said, yeah, come here. There's a difference between somebody talking too much and somebody talking anyhow. Okay,
Yeah.
I understand that this guy, there are some things that you come out and say, and even me myself, I'll be like, no, guy, you don't need to discuss. Like the other day when he said that Smushi came to his inbox and he's saying that she's saying that he should help her and recover her money, and he came up there and started. I was like, no, guy, you don't need all these things. But he has his own reasons why he's doing all those things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why we are humans because we are not perfect. Okay, what you feel like is right to you can be wrong to another person. Okay, but you saying the guy talks too much, I said no. He doesn't talk. If he talks too much, it can still be understandable. But if you say he's talking anyhow, that is a wrong motive about him. So
Yeah.
these same people that he's even fighting for, you still see that these are the same sort of people. You see them, let them give them. Okay, the other day when they were doing 30 days run challenge, was it not this same set of people that some people were paid money to go and disturb the protest? Was it not
Imagine.
this same citizen? So you could see that scenario, mommy. You could see it. So even we ourselves,
Honestly.
sef, we are not even united. We are not united. Because you see somebody fighting for you, then the next thing again, some set of group of people will come and pay you and say, yeah, fight against that person. And you see them immediately they will change their voices. They will
Hmm.
change their voices immediately. Because of how much? 5K, 7,000 naira. How much?
Now that you talk about, you're so right, Joe. Because I remember when Natasha made that allegation against the Senate president, how women were marching all over Nigeria in support of the Senate president. I just laughed at myself. I said, most of these people marching, they were just, if what Natasha is talking about must have happened to most of them, even in their very household, you understand. But it is what it is. They've used hunger and weaponized hunger to like get to people. When you're very hungry and somebody is flashing dollars in your presence, you'll be able to say, I beg, let me collect the dollar so that I can feed my children. And that's what it has been turned to. The hunger in the land is making people not to even remember where they are from, remember who they are. If there is anything left called integrity to their names. Unfortunately, it is what it is. It's very sad. I don't even want to talk about the NAS president
No,
and all
even in my place
Tinubu
of company,
and all of
we were discussing about this thing, and my colleague was like, he was saying, that even the way this country is, we were talking about this non-president of a thing, and how the man said they
Mhm.
offered him 100 million and he refused, and after everything that, and my colleague at work he's telling me, he's bad, he's even here like this now, he's hearing now. He's telling me that this country, now the way this country don't be now, say, if they offer you money, just collect them.
You
You could
see?
imagine what this country has led us into. Because
You
and if
see?
you look at what he's saying, it might look right. Because I'm very sure that if that NAS president had not rejected that 100 million, that thing that he's saying now wouldn't have come out. Nobody would even know what was going on.
Yeah.
Now, but I'm not saying it is right. I'm not saying that is the right way. But now look at what the situation of this country now has changed our motive, our thinking faculty into. That now, even if they offer you any money now, just collect it and keep quiet. And that is it.
Imagine.
And I
Imagine.
know that they've made moves several times for this same guy, this VDN, that oh God, just take this in and keep quiet. But because he has refused now you can see the way everything has turned out. If you see the way they beat that Nance president, I saw the picture. I was like, wow,
Wow.
like
So
wow.
that thing he said is actually true.
It's true. The picture was there. Even according to the news I even had, that there were some set of people that had the videos of how when they were beating when he was naked, they videoed him naked. And I know that that thing was because they want to use it as blackmailing for him. And when
Yeah.
the video was like, if that guy know what he wants, like even that video that is in, if he has access to that video, he should post it by himself. Because if he doesn't post it by himself, these people will use it to blackmail him. That was what VDM was still like saying in one of his last videos that I watched. He said they videoed him,
Imagine.
and some set of people had that videos in their phone. Some set of people.
Hmm. See,
Eh?
this VDM thing, really feel sorry for Nigeria. And the reason why I'm saying that, if this can happen to Durufa to me and happen to VDM, then who is the common man on the street? You get what I'm saying? Who
Yeah.
is the common man on the street? So people should just, I don't even know, but I'm still going to say no matter how threatened, no matter what they do, there should still be an opposition. And that's where change comes. It's very unfortunate that the judiciary sold, that they've sold their soul to the devil. It's very unfortunate. Very, very. I don't have any hope. Before the election, I made a live to saying I have just 1% hope for the judiciary. In case if anything goes to the tribunal, something good might come out of it. 1% is gone. I don't have any hope for the judiciary. I don't see it as where a common man will go now and get justice. And it is very bad. What happened to VDM on Friday, I want to believe, is a lot of family stories in Nigeria. Either their father, their son, their relative been, taken in that manner. And some never came back alive.
Mom, the thing
Some were,
I just shared my own story now. Although my mom be said they didn't put mask on my own face now. I will send you the video, mommy. You should come and see the way they drag. Like it's about like 50 kilometers from the very place they started dragging me to their van to where they took me inside
imagine,
the van. They dragged me on the floor, like literally on the floor, like all my bodies. They were wounds. They were like I had to go to hospital for like 3 days. I was in the hospital. I was going to hospital to and fro for checkup. All my
imagine,
body, just because they were trying to take an innocent person. And I said, no, now this guy has nothing to do with what is going on. This is the ED here standing before you people. Should I just take the ED and say, oh, yeah, let's go and let's discuss in the office why you have not paid our tax? Finish. Then you're trying to pull up an innocent person, which I took away from you guys, and that's it. That was it. In fact, they even
imagine.
threatened me that the fact that they're going to charge me to court after I we got to their office. They threatened to take me to that. Why am I? There was one big grammar they used for me at the office because after the whole talking and talking and the dragging, like they didn't see anything to even use to hold me again. Then the guy was like, okay, why am I interrupting the law? I said, how did I interrupt the law? He said,
Mm-hmm.
because I came to the law. Like, now after that one said when it now came to the part that they said I should come and write statement, come and see the kind of questions they are asking. I said, no, I cannot write this as statement. Now they will go drag until the company lawyer now came, now talk and everything. Then before you know, started threatening me that they will take it up, they will take up this case, and that next time they'll call me that they will charge me to court. I didn't even like I was not. I didn't even mind whatever they were saying until later I now heard that even the case like they had to look for a way to die down the case because when the company now sent our own CCTV, our footage
Mm-hmm.
to Abuja headquarters. When they now saw the footage, they now realized that it was even they were the one that started the fight. They were the one that barged in. That even the man said was even asking them that why did they even barge in the first place?
You
That was how
see?
they now looked for a way to die down this case. Now, what if now there was no CCTV footage, mommy, at that moment for
Mm-hmm.
me to defend me? That's how I would have suffered for what I didn't know anything about.
Imagine. Imagine. It's really very sad, honestly. It's really very sad. What happened to VDM can happen to anybody. So, for those laughing at VDM saying it serves him right, you might not like VDM or like the approach where how he does things or how he talks. You might disagree with him on that, but that does not mean that what they did to him is right. I want to believe and I want to uphold the law. If anybody did anything contrary to any section of the law, the person should be arrested in the proper way of doing things. Go to the person's house and arrest the person. They even arrest people in their offices because that's where they can find them. But waiting, ambushing somebody at the business premises is not right. That's not the way to arrest, especially when the person is not a criminal. If VDM has been sanctioned as a criminal, then I can understand it. But this is somebody who doesn't have any criminal charge in the court. What he has with Miss Mesichimwe will be what? A civil case that he has with Mesichimwe. So it's not enough to take somebody like the people that will come in as unknown G-men. That's their motive of operando. That's how they operate. They will come max, not wearing anything to identify them. They will take the person, cover the person's face, and whisk the person out of the place. And that's what I want to believe is totally wrong. There is no way anybody will tell me that's how to arrest somebody, whether if the person has a civil case. That's not how to arrest somebody. And if you're coming, you have to identify who you are. I want to believe, give some credibility to what the person that was with VDM said, saying that yes, it was EFCC. They know why they are saying it's EFCC because they would have told them that we are from the EFCC. But I want to believe that it's still true. I want to believe it. Nobody should help. People can help me out there in the comment section to understand it better. At what point did they tell them that they are from EFCC? Was it when they got to destination where they kept them, or when they met them at the bank entrance? Where did they tell them that we are from EFCC? From what my co-host said today, that even the guy could not stand properly because he was beaten and all of that. So at what point did they know that these people are from EFCC? And again, if they are from EFCC, this justice that EFCC is fighting, this corruption they are fighting, corruption they are fighting, is it only meant for the common man? What happened to those governors that embezzle funds in tons of billions of naira? What happens to those people? How come they cannot go and grab them the way they did to VDM? How come those people are walking the streets of Nigeria, even with police giving escorts? The Nigerian police gave them official escort. They have official security from the police driving them, going with them. How come they've not been able to arrest them? But a common man that went on his daily business to go conduct a business, not only did they take him, they whisked him away like a criminal. I want to believe by the time this whole thing goes down, VDM should bring a civil suit against GT Bank for keeping him in that their rotator door for 5 minutes. He must have suffered some trauma, and trauma is not measurable by any amount of money. So that's one thing VDM should pursue. Should not just let them be. If they are saying they did not do anything, they did not confine, but for keeping him trapped in that system for that number of time is enough for you to bring a lawsuit against the business or the building owners of that particular place that you were trapped. Is enough, because you could have had heart attack under 5 seconds, under 10 minutes, under 10 seconds, but they kept that person there for 5 minutes. Was it that the door shut down? I know it can happen in Nigeria. I could remember last October when I visited a bank. To come out, one of them was, the door was like not opening at all, but it did not take 5 minutes and it was taken care of. 5 minutes is a long time for anything to happen to anybody medically, So VDM should pursue that when he's out of this drama. He should be able to pursue that against GT. They should be able to pay him some compensation for putting him there, causing him emotional distress, and whatever you have to think about. So now, Joe, it's been a pleasure you hosting this evening with me because I've been away for a long time. and unfortunately is not anything planned. But I will be coming out because I don't like this injustice. And injustice to one is injustice to all. For the fact that
Very
it's
true.
happening to VDM doesn't mean it will not happen to another person. It could happen to another person tomorrow. So nobody should say, yes, it's not me. He's not related to me. He's not my brother. I'm not a rattle. You don't need to belong to VDM movement for you to see injustice and call it for what it is. Before an arrest can be made in this nature, they did it, the person must have been tagged a criminal or somebody who is at a flight risk. That somebody who, if you don't arrest him immediately, he might be able to fly out of the country and then invade arrest. But VDM is not in that situation. So I don't know why they did to him what they did. However, it is a lesson for all of us to learn. As you're going to anywhere, I'm happy VDM went there with someone because that's the person that came back with the story that we are hearing. So if you're going anywhere in Nigeria today, please inform another person, somebody who really cares about you, where you're going, your whereabouts, and the people to contact in case anything should happen to you. If this can happen to VDM on a broad daylight, it can happen to anybody. That is just the truth. It can happen to anybody. So nobody should say I'm immune, unless if you belong to the party of, the party you belong to, then you might start claiming immunity. So if you're not in that party and you're doing your thing, please notify people about your whereabouts once you're about leaving your home. Let people know where you're going. And again, to GT Bank, if truly you will have no hands in all of this, I will wish you well. But if truly somebody, originated a call from your premises and informed these people that came and with very dark man, I don't know what offense that dark man committed with against your bank or your institution that you will do that. I'm trying to figure it out. And secondly, is a bad reputation for you guys. So if people know what is good for you, if there is videos, release them. If there is anything for you guys to justify your case that you have no hands in what happened to this man, you better do it. And time is of essence here, because if you keep letting this thing go further, by Monday you're going to see a lot of people withdraw their money from your bank, and other banks will be gaining customer while you be declining. Is not good reputation for business. Is not good, especially with the social media. You don't mess up with social media these days. Is not good reputation. People are going to start being afraid of coming into your bank, especially when they are owing people or they have business transaction or anything, or maybe their neighbor is fighting them and threatening they're going to call the police. They will not be free to walk into the bank and do transaction because you guys are letting this be looked at as you intentionally, or you also contributed, or you conspired. Speak up, put out a statement. If there is video to release all the transaction, all the things that happen in on that day, so that people can see and judge for themselves. Save your bank when you still have the time. Rattle might be just 1/4 of your banking people, but I'm not talking about the number of customers you're going to lose. I'm talking about the reputation and the damage that is going to cause to your institution. So if you know what is right for you, do. Joe, we've been talking
Yes,
for
ma'am.
1 hour, 37 minutes, and I am so done today. I'll be following up this case. If anything happens tomorrow, by the time I'm waking up, the news will be on the social media. I'll be able to see what is
Okay.
going on. I really hope that this EFCC and the rest will be able to say what happened. If VDM is in their custody, they will be able to own up to it. However, I pray they find him tomorrow. I pray they be able to release him tomorrow wherever he is. And I look forward to watching the Very Dark Man's video when he comes out. I can't wait to hear him. Joe, is there anything else you want to tell our audience before we call it a day today?
All right. Okay. It's just a word of advice. Okay, I'm gonna say, and you also mentioned part of it by informing people about your whereabouts wherever you're going. Make sure you tell people your whereabouts. Tell them the precise place you're going. Okay. And if you're going to be leaving that place to go to another place, let them know. Give them full details. Okay. And another thing again is, please, let's try everything possible to stay out of trouble. Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, I know that sometimes, even though you try to stay out of that trouble will come and meet you. But if that trouble is coming and you sense it coming, please do everything to run away from it. Because if you don't run away from it, definitely that injustice will happen to you, and you even
Oh,
suffer for it. Just like what happened to me. Because now, after the whole dragging and everything, they dragged me on the floor and every sort of thing. Now they now say CCTV, our footage caught that it wasn't me. But now me suffer the body pain. Now me suffer the body
exactly.
pain. Exactly. And the following day, guess what, mommy? They even came and they said they were looking for me to apologize to me. I said I don't want to see anybody because if I set my eyes on them, that fight where they say that me start am that yesterday. If you say that today I go start that fight. So I told them, I said I don't want to see anybody. Let them just go. You could imagine. So now they are coming to apologize to me after the whole body pain and everything, my bruises all over my body. That means to suffer am. So please, let's do everything possible to stay out of trouble, please. And I pray that God will help us because even sometimes if I do this prayer that God helping us in this country, sometimes like I feel like that prayer is not like it's not sounding well to my ear because all these countries that are doing well. I'm not saying God is not powerful. I'm not saying God is not intervening. But all these countries that are doing well, are you telling me it's God that intervened? As in,
No, I will
no,
answer you
I
no.
will answer you no. So this one, like if I'm praying that prayer, God intervene in Nigeria, I'll be like this prayer, am I even really okay praying this prayer? Because we don't need God to come. Honestly, mommy, we don't. This is not what God is going to do. If you are still praying, how many churches do we have in this country? Even though just in Lagos State alone, do you know how many churches we have? How many mosques we have? So this thing is not even God. If you are still here praying to God, God to come, I'm not saying God is not power. I'm not saying God cannot do the unthinkable. I'm not saying God cannot do wonders. But in this situation in this country, if you're praying to God to come, I'm saying I don't see it because it's just common senses. We just need to have
Exactly.
sympathy for ourselves. We need to love ourselves genuinely because if you have the love of your neighbor, you definitely see what will harm your neighbor and you tell him, no, this thing is going to harm me. Stay away from it. But you don't see what will harm your neighbor and you still allow that neighbor pass through that thing. No, that is not love. That is not love. We need to have sympathy. If you have sympathy for ourselves, you know that yes, this thing. If the government have sympathy for the citizens, they'll know that yes, this thing is not right. Let's do it the right way. If they have sympathy for the citizen, they will not have did what they did to VDM the way they did to him. So that is
That's
just
true.
it. So if you are still here saying God should come, I'm a Christian. No, I'm not an antichrist, but you're still here praying to God, God to come and intervene. As in, no, 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 no. It's a no-no for me. So that's what I have to say, Mama. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you so
Joe.
much,
You
Joe.
are
You are
amazing.
amazing. Yes, mommy.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
I
Welcome,
really
mommy. I
appreciate
really
your time
appreciate
today.
your
God
time
bless you
today. God bless
really.
you. Amen. Amen. I you too, mommy.
All right.
All
So
right.
I'll be saying thank you guys for joining me today. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Soyoyo, and thank you for joining. If you haven't liked this live stream, do me well by liking the video, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook as well. And if you're just joining this live stream, let me know your thought in the comment section. The topic we just discussed is what offense? What is the offense Very Dark Man committed? Can anybody tell us his offense? Then we'll be able to know what is going on. And again, where is the Very Dark Man? We should be asking this question. We should continue to ask until they'll be able to tell the world what the Very Dark Man did to warrant how he was humiliated on Friday, whisked out from the premises of the bank from unknown people, because I will call them unknown. They were not identified. They were not wearing any law enforcement outfit to say, yeah, they're coming from this office or this office. And if it happens to be EFCC that took him the way they did, what kind of precedent are they setting in Nigeria? How then can you differentiate between the law enforcement and the men of underworld? Because that's how they take people from Nigeria and start demanding ransom from family members. So let us know what is going on. It's unfortunate they are trying to silence the bold advocate of the people. That's what I will call Very Dark Man. He is a bold advocate of the people, and very, 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 very fearless person at that. I don't know what the aim of this is. If Very Dark Man did something or offended anybody or went against the law of the land, he should be invited to the law enforcement offices, or rather, they should go to his house and arrest him. They know where he lives because they have his address in the system. So they can't tell me they don't know where he lives. They know where he lives. They should be able to go to his home and arrest him, not to see him on the street and take him as though they were from men of underworld. You know what I'm talking about. It shouldn't happen to anybody. That is not the formal way of doing things. If this is coming from law enforcement or, agencies, they should be able to tell people the offense that this guy, the very dark man, actually got himself into. Right now, I don't know any. All I know is that he has freedom of speech. He has been advocating, telling people what to do and what not to do, and telling those that are doing wrong to stop doing wrong. You might not like Very Dark Man. You might not like the approach he takes things. However, what they did to him, if they could do that to Very Dark Man, how much more the common man on the street? Think about it deeply and lend a voice when you think one is needed. So, like I said, if you're just joining us right now, watch this video, do a replay to know where we started and how it all went down. And I want to thank all of you, especially for joining me today. I will also be live tomorrow. Hopefully by that time, there would have been some information about the Very Dark Man so we can talk about it. I will gradually come back to the full package. I used to do live stream every day or every other day, but for some reason, my job got so intense and life got so busy and other things that happened that I've not been able to come right in. So, guys, thank you guys immensely. And for my gifter today, we had this conversation. It was so deep conversation that I forgot to appreciate my gifter. Thank you, Ed James Finance, for the gift of $4.99. God bless you real good for that support, and may your pocket never run dry from where you got these funds from. Thank you immensely. Please like the live stream for me, and I will see you guys on my next one. Just like my co-host says, stay out of trouble. If you know what the law says, abide by the law. Do not go contrary to the law so you don't fall victim of when Nigerians will say Nigeria happened to me. Let Nigeria not happen to you. You that is watching this video, may Nigeria not happen to you. When we say these things, they are so deep. They are so deep. I had a story about somebody that traveled to bury the sister, and the person ended up also buying in Nigeria. This is just recent. She went to bury her sister. She had a medical emergency, and the person ended up buying. That is one of the ways people say Nigeria happened to me. Let Nigeria not happen to you. It's not something you wish for anybody. What happened to Very Dark Man is not something anybody should laugh or rejoice over, because you could be next. You could be next. It could be maybe a stray bullet. It could be anything happening to you. I saw a child that went to school and a dog attacked the child. Anything can happen to anybody. So nobody should rejoice when others are going through pain. Even if you're a Christian, the Bible says, rejoice with those rejoicing and mourn with those that are mourning. Support each other and treat each other the way you want to be treated. So I'm hoping that Very Dark Man will be out tomorrow, the official work day. Let's know the agency that got him, and let's know the offenses that they're bringing against him. Until we get to that stage of knowing what offense he was involved with, then we'll keep hoping that everything is all good. I want to thank all of you immensely. Thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another interesting conversation. And as you come in, don't forget to lend your voice. Okay, you can jump onto the link, click on the link in the next live stream, and have your own voice heard. I want to hear from you just like you're hearing from me. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know your opinion. As you watch this video, leave me those comments in the comment section. Until I see you guys tomorrow, stay blessed and have an amazing week ahead of you. Good night, everybody, and I will say good evening to my people over here. See you guys in my next one. Thank you all. Bye, everyone. Ciao, ciao.